Hey, yo. It is Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. Fantasy NBA Today brought to you by FanDuel. It's my man, Dr. A. Dr. A, we are about to start a very cool series of shows here. We are going to go round by round by ADP. First round, and we're basing this on a 12-team league, which is how you all should be playing. I know ESPN's public leagues are 10-team leagues. So they change that? Do it. Change it. 10 sucks. 12 rocks. 12 is perfect. So we're doing, 8's awful. I will not play an 8-team league. I would play a 10-team league, but it's not my preference. But 12 is the way to go. So we're basing this on a 12-team format, Doc. And so we're going to look here today at round 1. Next episode, round 2. Next episode, round 3. At the end, we're going to ask, what's the best value pick of this round? Okay, so it might not be Wemby at number 1. The best value pick of round 1 may be somebody else. We will ascertain. Doc, what's up, man?
Rick, I was at the golf course on Sunday, and my buddy Richie and I were talking fantasy football. And I said, "Look at this team, man! It's beautiful, right? Because I'm 2-0, Soren's 2-0. We're all fired up." But he goes, "I like that team a lot, but your bench is garbage." I'm like, "Well, let me see your bench." I look at his bench. It's got a bunch of freaking all-stars on it. I'm like, "Is this like an 8-team league?" He goes, "No, it's 10. And I said, "Oh," he goes, "Is yours 12? And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, that's why your bench sucks." He's like, "I hate 12-team leagues. I don't play in them." I'm like, "That's because they're harder, right?" And he's like, "Yep." So I'm a 12-team. All leagues we play in are pretty much 12. Some of them are 30, but I'll play in a 10-team league, and I'm not going to dog anybody for playing in 10-team leagues, but I would argue that it is easier to win a 10-team league than it is a 12-team league.
I think it's harder to win a 10-team league because everybody has an all-star team. When you go to 12, that's where the knowledge comes in. That's where you and I separate from the masses. That's where we gain an advantage as experts, right? And I don't know if you saw that, but I did about 3 air quotes on that. Hear me out. So when you go to a 14-team league, our advantage increases. When you go to a 16-team league, our advantage increases. When you go to 20, when you go to 30, and the 30-team league is nothing but industry guys and girls. Okay, so we're all badasses. So there's no advantage gained there. You just got to kill the draft and then get a whole bunch of luck. Okay, because of the stupid weekly lineup thing. But Doc, that's why the Cam Dynasty, NBA, and NFL are 14-team leagues. I want to stretch the you-know-what out of the league and out of your brain, okay? In my football league, you start 2 tight ends, dude. So that's another, come to the party. Let's go. This is not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be excruciatingly difficult to win a championship. So, I disagree. Go ahead.
The thing about 8 and 10-team leagues is you have so many decisions to make, like impossible decisions. Like, do I start this wide receiver or this wide receiver? They're ranked.
And they're both studs, right?
It's impossible. Like in a 12-team football league, you pretty much don't have a lot of decisions to make. Usually,
I agree with that's a great call. It's a great call.
You just kind of got to go with, and that's why I said it's harder to win a 12 than a 10 because you have to have a decent bench, to win a 12-team league. I think, and the deeper the league, the harder it is to have a good bench. But like you said, the deeper the league, the more knowledge we have. Like I think in basketball, that works for me. Like I do have an advantage, but in football, where I really just go off of a list I have, I don't think I have a huge advantage over somebody once I'm done drafting my starters.
Football I love it. I'm one of the pioneers of it, but it's very frustrating because luck is more a part of fantasy football versus fantasy baseball or basketball tenfold. It's not even close. You can, in baseball and basketball, just build a juggernaut that cannot be beat. In football, you cannot do that. You can have a team that goes 13-0 in the regular season. You've got 1,000 more points than the next team, right? Guess what? Round 1, you just have a bad day and you go home, okay? bad luck. You get a couple guys turn an ankle or something, and you're done. And your perfect season is lost in flames. That does not happen in basketball or baseball. I mean, it can, but it's way more likely to happen in football. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Fantasy basketball top 12, and we're going to go round one here today. Do we agree with these ADPs? Okay, what would it take for this player to meet his ADP? Can the player beat this ADP? Let's start with Nikola Jokic, Doc. Do you agree with this ADP on the Joker?
Looks a little high. Looks a little high to me, Rick. I mean, he's going to have to outperform Wemby to finish as number one. He's going to have to outperform Luka and Shea, and but he's Jokic. He can do it. He's done it before. We thought he was going to be doing it for a long time, but these other guys are definitely challenging him and in some cases beating him. So I'm fine with Jokic at 1. I'm good with that ADP. I don't know. It makes sense. I mean, I think that if he wasn't number 1, I'd be surprised. How about that?
No, I hear you, man. I don't agree with this ADP times 2. I've got Jokic at number 3 right now. Luka is a better fantasy pick this year than Jokic. We've talked about this. I can go back into the numbers if you guys need. The PRA that I'm projecting is separated by 1. Okay. And this is Jokic, in Doncic. Doncic going 32, 9-9 or whatever. Like their PRAs are like 51 and 50. Massive, massive PRAs, dude. Historically incredible PRAs. And they're separated in my projection, which is very realistic and conservative, by 1. All right. And then the defensive stats are very similar. Luka's a good steal guy. Jokic is a good steal guy. Cool. Push. The difference is 3 balls. Jokic is going to be at about 2, maybe less. He was at 2 last year, career high. Doncic is going to be at 4 3-balls a game. If you're doubling up Jokic in the 3-ball category, the defense is the same, and the PRA is basically the same, then why wouldn't you take Doncic over Jokic? Why wouldn't you? Because he's Jokic? I get that, but you're making the wrong move.
Hurt. Luka's fat.
Not anymore. By the way, dude, Caitlin Clark, we got to get her on the cover of Women's Health, like Luka. I've thrown that gauntlet down for weeks now. Caitlin, you got to get on the cover of Women's Health, man. Dude, Caitlin literally tricked off this season, dude. Tricked it off. She mailed in this season, dude. She didn't work out. She came in lousy shape. She got like 5 injuries.
Hollywood.
She Miss Hollywood. She played 13 games, bro.
She made more commercials than she played in games.
Correct. And I'm so over her arrival shots. Here's Caitlin entering the arena. I don't care. She's not playing. I don't care. Oh, she's got a hoodie on and with some jeans and some cool tennis shoes. Who cares? I'm over it, dude. And I love Caitlin Clark. We got to get that lady on the court. She got to get in better shape, bro. It's mad.
I was looking back at the 2 WNBA leagues I attempted to participate in. I didn't. It was not the greatest experience I've ever had. But I looked back at it and I had the number 1 pick in one draft, and I took Caitlin Clark. And the number 2 pick in that draft is it Aja Wilson that's tearing up the league.
It's Asia, but okay.
Yeah, Asia. Whatever. I didn't watch any WNBA games this year.
I
just drafted a couple teams and ran them out there.
Hit me with Aja.
You can imagine how bad my number 1 pick, Caitlin Clark, team was. It was bad.
I was in 7 leagues, Doc. I did not do well in either of the Sports Ethos leagues. I did not. I just didn't. No excuses. I sucked, and I'll do better. And I was in 5 ESPN leagues. I was one of those leagues. I had a Rike Ogunbowale, and it just was over. I won 3 championships, Doc, out of the 7. Last Thursday was the last day of the regular season. So, I had a league with Caitlin Clark. It was actually Team Caitlin. I named my team who my star player is. It helps me sort of identify and remember the team, right? So
Maybe
this
I
was
should have done that.
So this was Team Caitlin, and I got 13 games out of her, right? So, dude, the ESPN sets up a final round, a championship round that goes 2.5 weeks. It's garbage. It's super lame. So I have a lead, Doc, a pretty healthy lead, and then the lead shrunk a little bit towards the whole time, except for Wednesday and Thursday, the last 2 days of the regular season. I ended up losing by 76 points, which is basically 3 games. That's like 3-man games. 70, about 25 a game. Sometimes they go up to 30, a little higher, but that's like legitimately 3 man games that I lost this league by. So, and I almost got it done without Caitlin Clark. Speaking of leagues, if you guys want to compete against me in the Sports Ethos leagues and Dr. A as well, but I will be our special Sports Ethos Challenge League. Hold on. Andre's sending me a message right here, and I think I'm confusing the words a little bit. But what the bottom line is here, we want to play fantasy basketball with you, okay? So what you do to join in, DM on Twitter, Andre, and it's at ANDMLEMOS, and LEMOS on Twitter, or email support@sportsethos.com. So that's easier. Support@sportsethos.com. Hey, I want to play in the fantasy basketball leagues with Cam and Doc and Andre and Brew and everybody else, and we will get you in. So, I mean, I love me some Jokic, Doc. At the 3-hole, I'm viciously attacking Nikola Jokic and drafting him. But let's ask this question, because neither of us have Jokic at a 1 ADP. What would it take for this player to meet this ADP? To me, it's going to be tough, dude. Doc, I don't think he can, because he averaged a triple-double last year. He had career highs in many categories, okay? The only way he can shoot up to Wembyville and Lucaville is to turn into like a 3 or 3.5 3-ball per game guy. That's not going to happen. I can guarantee you right now that he's not going to crank 3 balls a game, okay? If he's at 2, that's awesome. He's never been at 2 before last year, all right? So I don't think he can meet this ADP. Like, I just don't think it's mathematically possible, my brother.
It is if Luka and Victor Wembanyama get hurt. That would do it. Jokic is safe, man.
That's a good point.
I don't love. I'm not taking Jokic at 1. I'm if I get the number 1 pick, I'm not taking Jokic. So that technically means I disagree with this ADP, but I don't really dislike it.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Jokic has earned the right to be drafted number 1 if people want to do it. I mean, I disrespect him all the time. I just feel like he's so disrespected, but he doesn't deserve it. So if you want to take Nikola Jokic number 1 and he's safe and he does the same thing every year and you know what you're going to get, and you know he plays every game, a lot of games, do it. Like, I don't hate it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not taking Jokic at number 1 if I get the number 1 pick.
What if you have the number 2 pick?
I'm not taking Jokic then either.
Oh, you're on me with the Luka thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we've vetted that together. Like, we are in full agreement. Yes.
All right. I just wanted, because it's been a minute, and we're always in our labs doing rankings and looking at stuff. Just want to make sure. So I will
take, if I get the 3rd pick in my drafts, I will take whoever's remaining between Wemby, Jokic, and Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, has the 3-hole in a fantasy basketball draft ever been better than going into this year? I'm not sure. I can't imagine that it has been, but
no.
We are the Fantasy NBA today, brought to you by FanDuel. And what's left of your boy Cam, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, Andre Lemouche as well. Let's move on to number 2 ADP. The bit is, guys, we're attacking the first round here today. These are the ADPs for these players, and do we agree with it or not? So Wemby is at number 2, Doc, which is good to see. It seems like we've already had a shift in ADP, right? Wasn't SGA above Wemby like 2 weeks ago, a month ago, when we were doing some ADP stuff with Fantrax and Yahoo and even ESPN? I'm pretty 99.5% sure about that. And so now Andre just sent us a new ADP list. Wemby is 2, SGA is 3, and we'll get to SGA in a minute. But do you agree with this ADP for Wemby?
Not really. No, I think it should be a little bit higher. I mean, you and I have broken this down extensively all summer long. Like, if Wembanyama plays, he's going to put up historic fantasy numbers that we may have never seen ever before. So to me, that's the number 1 pick in a draft.
Yeah, man. I don't agree with this ADP. I mean, at this point, I kind of, people have got to get out of old thinking. Stop like living in the past and just lingering in the past. And this is a Wemby thing, right? How could you take Jokic over Wemby and pass on? You know what I'm saying? You're passing on 4 blocks. I don't know, 1 to 1.5 steals, 3 threes, 3, not 1.5. He's a center banging 3 threes. And by the way, every single one of the numbers we're talking about is probably on the rise because he's still a young ascending player figuring this all out. Like, again, I'm not mad if you take Jokic over Wemby. I invented this. Doc popularized this. We are the goats of this. And we are telling you right now, you are making a mistake if you take Jokic over Victor Wembanyama. Okay? Take that knowledge for what it is, but it's valuable information. It's why you're here watching our podcast. So that's all I got to say on that.
Now, the reason people can do it is if you look at the rankings last year on a very popular rankings site with a big old algorithm, Jokic was number 1. Shea was 2. Wemby was 3. That's per game value. So if everything goes like it went last year, which hopefully it goes better than that because Wemby only played in 46 games. I mean, you can make an argument that Jokic is still number 1. So I get it. I get why people are taking him number 1. Plus, he played in 70 games. That's probably his lowest game total in the last 10 years. There's not a lot of risk in taking Wemby. So again, I mean, in taking Jokic. So again, I don't hate it, but I'm all for swinging for the fences and trying to dominate my league and win. And to do that, you need Wembanyama. And if he does what he's supposed to do, it's going to be hard to lose your league if you have Wemby.
You're right, Doc. So the difference between Jokic and Wemby on this algorithm that you speak of, they're big on percentages. They're big on efficiency. All right. And this algorithm we're talking about is a tool for me. It's not the end all be all. It's just a tool. And I have the website up right now and I'm looking at it. I like the way they have it stacked. I like the way they've got all the stats. And so it's a good resource, man. But sportsethos.com is better. And so the difference between Nikola Jokic and Wemby, Doc, is 100 percentage points. Last year, Wemby was at 476. Jokic was at 576. Bam. There's your difference. Wemby was actually a better free throw shooter than Jokic, which surprises me, actually. I don't care about percentages. I don't clock them that way. But that's why I don't care that Jokic is 100 percentage points better than Wemby. Wemby's still at 48. Okay, not hurting you there. Obviously, Jokic is very helpful with a 58% field goal percentage, but I don't care. Okay. I want those threes, 3.1 for Wemby. It was 3.8 blocks and 1.1 steals. It's the greatest collection of fantasy gold in NBA history. And all of those numbers, I got to crank them up a little bit, Doc. Maybe to 3.3 threes, 1.4 steals, 4.1, 4.2 blocks. Like, I don't see massive upticks on those numbers, but I see upticks on those numbers, dude.
Yes, I am with you on that.
Yeah. We do have the same algorithm and ranking at sportsethos.com, by the way. It's up right now, sportsethos.com. And you can maneuver it and shape it and use it as your tool. You don't need to go anywhere else. Okay. So Wembanyama at number 2, we don't agree with that ADP. He should be number 1. Now let's get to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dr. A. Number 3 ADP right now. And I out there, you're like, where's Doncic? Where's Doncic? You're gonna have to wait for Luka. I know we're gonna get him at a bargain, dude. We're gonna get, unless the hype train that we're stoking up here, but that hype train, I mean, Luka's not where he needs to be. Okay, we got more work to do, Doc. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at number 3. Do you agree with this ADP?
No, I don't. We already said if I get a top 3 pick, I'm taking whoever's left out of Luka, Wemby, and Jokic. So maybe, to your point, has there ever been a 4th pick this juicy in a fantasy draft where you can get whoever's left between SGA, Wemby, Jokic, and Luka with the number 4 pick? That's pretty spicy as well, because we kind of shrug off SGA a little bit compared to the freakish things these other guys are doing. But I mean, SGA's damn good, man. And I you can win a fantasy league starting your draft with SGA. So while I don't agree with it, I'm fine with it. If you want to take SGA at 3, knock yourself out and do it. It makes sense. That's where he's going, name recognition and value and all that. So it makes total sense to me. This is not where I would personally put him.
I do not agree with this ADP for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Number 3, I mean, you're putting him above Luka. This is what I'm talking about, Doc. Get out of old thinking. What happened last year is not guaranteed to happen this year. And so many people get lost in those numbers, Doc, and what SGA did, and he won the ring and finals MVP and the scoring title and MVP, and he swept the board, dude. He's not doing that in back-to-back years. He's not. If he does, okay, Doc, if he wins MVP again, scoring title again, ring, finals MVP again, okay, we have to vault this guy into a completely different stratosphere. And because his stat line is so Jordan-esque, because his two-way ability is so Jordan-esque, like those comparisons, obviously it's never going to be apples to apples. This is Jordan we're talking about, who won 10 scoring titles, 10, which is more than Wilt. How do you have more scoring titles than Wilt? Jordan has 10. Nobody's even close to that, dude. So, but if SGA does it again, I'm going to have to recalculate historically my view on him. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to have a magnificent year. First team All-NBA, All-Star, threatened for MVP. I think he's probably going to win another ring. I'm not dissing the guy. I'm just saying what you have to keep in mind what he did last year, but also know that this is a new year. It's a new year. Okay. What if, God forbid, something happens? But you've got SGA, to me, Doc, he's either at a plateau or it's a slight dip down from last year. Okay. Just slight. Luka's arrow is like this, right?
In our minds,
up,
yes.
Dude. It's straight up. Okay. Straight up. SGA is like this, like that. And Dude, how can you pass on 39-9 with at least 1.5 steals and 4 threes? How can you pass on that for SGA? SGA last year, Doc, what was it? 2 threes? How many threes? 2.1. Okay. SGA's fantasy gold is fantastic. 2.1 threes, 1.7 steals, 1 block. Okay. Honestly, though, the defensive numbers are dipping slightly year by year. What if this year we get 1.5 steals, 0.8 blocks? Much, much different for SGA. And that could happen coming off of the dream year that he and his team had. And then you look at Luka, 3.5 threes last year, 1.8 steals, and 0.4 blocks. Okay. I'm sorry, dude.
Hey, Rick, the rankings tool that we are using and looking at, if you go to sportsethos.com and click on NBA and go down to stats and player ranks and click on that, boom, there it is. That's the spot. And it's pretty cool. You can do lots of different things with it. You can go 8-cat or 9-cat year to date or special time frames and look by player. And it's all there. Check it out.
Sportsethos.com. Okay. So we don't agree with SGA's ADP. We haven't agreed with one of these ADPs yet, Doc. We have not. And we are not going to agree on this ADP either. We are not.
I may not agree with any of them.
We're not going to agree with at least the next 2, and we'll see.
I see 2 that I maybe 3 I might agree with. And by the way, when we say, do you agree with this? Are we only agreeing with it if it's exactly the same as our own?
Kind of, sort of, yeah. But it's also like if a guy is above another guy and you're like, hell no. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's both. Yeah, it's like kind of what your rankings look like, but it's also just kind of more simply or generally like Jokic over Wemby. Are you nuts? You know, that kind of thing. Which is exactly what we're talking about here. Giannis Antetokounmpo is at 4, and it's funny because you and me and Brew and Andre and I think a lot of really plugged in people look at this is not a big 5. This is a big 4. Okay, the 4 guys at the top in any order that you want: Jokic, SGA, Luka, and Wemby. The fantasy masses, Doc, are, and by the way, Giannis has been above Luka ADP for as long as the ADPs have been out from ESPN, Fantrax, and Yahoo. Okay, the whole time, Doc, the whole summer we've been talking about Giannis being ranked over Luka and how much we hate that. Guess what? We're still here. Giannis is at 4. I asked this knowing the answer already. Do you agree with this ADP?
I do not. I don't trust Giannis's knees. He can't shoot free throws. His team's a little sketch. And I just don't mess with Giannis, man. I like to watch him play. I like him as an NBA player. But ever since the days, my Roto Hoops days from way back in the day when you and I first started talking about this, was Shaq. Shaq was poison to your fantasy team because of his free throw shooting. And I still have problems with guys who can't shoot free throws, and I don't draft them. And it generally has worked out for me and overall. So I'm not taking Giannis at 4.
This is egregious. This is dumb assery. Bro, if you take Giannis over Luka this year, you are committing fantasy basketball suicide. You are literally throating your own team. How do I don't know how much stronger I can put this. It's dumb. This is not debatable. Jokic and Wemby, you can manufacture debates. Jokic and Luka, you can manufacture debates. Okay. Me and Doc are intoxicated with Wemby and Luka. You will not win that battle with us, but we'll listen. I'll listen. Okay. I'll listen to SJ over those guys. I'll half-ass listen to that. I'll just kind of half-ass listen. Giannis? That's like, hey man, you like music? What do you listen to? Oh, I listen to everything. Conversation over, bro. Over. I'm moving on. Hey man, the weather's been great here recently, right? Dude, you see the Buccaneers game? I mean, like, I'm just moving on. If you say everything, I can't work with that. I can't work with that. Man, I'm a deadhead. I'm a metalhead. I love old school hip hop. Give me something, okay? Because you and me are both very diverse in our music, right? I love all kinds of music, but I wouldn't say I love everything, right? And by the way, when I love the next time, Doc, I thought about this. The next time somebody tells me that, I'm going to say, no, you don't. And they're going to be like, what do you mean? You're telling me what I like in music? I'm be like, answer me a question. Do you like death metal? And you know what, Doc? They're going to say, yeah, you're right. I don't like death metal. Okay, so you don't like everything. We've gotten somewhere.
People but I listen to country and rap and pop.
Stop answering that question with I listen to everything. Give the person that asked you that question something to go on, especially if that person is a musician. I don't want it. I can't. I'm not a snob, right? And I'm not aloof and all that, but I can't work with everything. I can't. And I'm going to start getting snarky about it. Do you like death metal? Oh, you don't like death metal. So you don't like everything. Okay?
I like the question. I like the fact that you're on a soapbox about this. I don't know how to put that on a t-shirt, but it needs to be on a t-shirt.
I like everything. I like all music. No, you don't. You don't. I promise you, you don't. Do you like a 22.5-minute Disco Biscuits jam that's full throttle the whole time? No, you don't. I promise.
Do you like the 28-minute version of Velvet Underground's oh shoot, I can't think of the name. I was gonna say Sweet Jane, but it's not. It's they have like, oh my gosh, I'm totally blew it, dude. I don't getting old sucks.
Getting old sucks, dude. Getting old sucks,
God,
man.
What is the name of that stupid song? That's gonna drive me nuts. Because I love it. Oh, Sister Ray. It's the 28-minute version of Sister Ray by the Velvet Underground. Do you like that? No, I guarantee you probably do not. Casey hears that come on, and she's like, what in God's name are we listening to? Turn it off. I'm like, that's okay, babe. It's only going to be on for another 25 minutes.
God, I'm going to start getting snarky with that shit. I am. Do you like death metal? Doc, you know I'm a huge metalhead. Huge metalhead. I don't like death metal. I don't like death metal. You know, that type of stuff. I don't like that stuff. It's not melodic. I like melodic metal. All right, back to our story here. Giannis at 4 is egregious. Let's move on. Luka's at 5, Doc. Luka Doncic. How dare the fantasy world ADP him at 5? 5, Doc. If I get way off.
If I get the 5th pick in my draft and Luka is sitting there, I'm going to be dancing in the streets. I might even take my shirt off.
Andre said, I listen to everything, even Giannis at 4. That's just funny. Well done, Andre. That is awesome. Well played, dude. Well played. Well played. Now, the thing is, I could ask Andre, do you like death metal? He might actually say yes. Our homie might actually say yes to that question. All right. I don't put anything past 007, the Latvian 007. I put nothing past this dude.
Dude, I'm someone who listens to, quote, everything, but when somebody asks me what kind of music I like, I go to my specialty or my love, like the stuff I love, which is indie rock and 90s, like Pavement. That's what I listen to. But have I listened to Neil Diamond and ABBA and Joe Walsh and Vince Gill? Yeah, I've listened to all that. Yeah, I've listened to everything. But what do you listen to? What do you really listen to? Is the question.
Andre said he likes death metal. Told you. I put nothing past the Latvian 007. Yes, a new nickname for Andre has been coined today. But back to Luka here, Doc. We got to get these people right, bro. Or do we?
I like when ADP does. I like it when people don't do what I want to do. I like to zig when they zag.
Dude, what if you're in a draft and you're at 5 and the guy at 4 takes Giannis, or he's auto drafting in the stupid ADP algorithm, right? For Yahoo or ESPN or whatever, is and then bam, they just give him Giannis because that's next man up, right? In an auto, they just go by ADP and you get the next highest dude. Dude, if you're at 5 and you get Luka Doncic, you can almost hand that dude the ring and the winnings in that league, because they're going to get so much of a better player in round 2. Wow. So yeah, it's one of those things like, guys, you got to get it together. You got to be better. But at the same time, Doc and I are in it to win it. But you know what, Doc? You know what? Okay, forget about that. Because these are our people out here. This is our audience. This is our family. Okay, we are in this together. Like the people over there, those are the people we want to. The people in here, okay, this is a love fest, and we want to help you guys all win. So again, we're going to continue to just pound the gavel of Luka's got to be higher. It's got to be higher than Giannis. Got to be higher than SGA, and we think higher than Jokic, which is controversial. We may be the only knuckleheads on earth saying that, but you know why? And I say this humbly: we know more. We just do. We've been doing this longer and at a higher level than anybody on earth. Literally anybody on earth. Feels good to be able to say that, and it's not boastful or arrogant. It's just a fact. All right, let's move on to number 6 here, Doc. It is Anthony Edwards. Do you agree with this ADP?
Kinda, but no, because I've got somebody ranked higher.
Wait a second.
Than
But
Anthony Edwards.
you have Cade at 5, right?
We're not. Yeah, I have Cade above Anthony Edwards. Yes.
Okay, yeah, we're not supposed to go into our rankings. Let me ask you this then. If I can. Do you have Edwards right after Cade?
Yeah.
So that seems like this ADP might be a perfect fit, a bang on for you.
I mean, it's pretty close. I'm just taking
All right.
Cade before. As far as the number goes, I think the number is right on where I've got.
Understood. That's where I'm going. But it's wrong because you would take Cade over Ant-Man.
Yeah, but it's right by the specific number.
Understood.
I mean, it's pretty damn close, and I could be totally wrong about Cade. And Anthony Edwards could do this year what I thought he was going to do last year, which was not fire up 11 fadeaway threes every night. Like I thought Anthony Edwards was going to blow up last year. He didn't, but he could this year. So I mean, I don't have any problem with anybody taking Edwards at 6. None.
So I mean, I've got him a notch higher than this. Like Giannis keeps taking L's here. Ant-Man at 6, Giannis at 4. Hell no. I'm going to take that back. It's not Giannis over Luka is a hell no. Giannis over Ant-Man's debatable. I'm going to give you that. I am going to give you that. That's a preference thing, and there's no upside with Giannis. There's no upside. It's just you're going to get what you, and it's extraordinary, but there's no upside. What Anthony Edwards gives you is pretty extraordinary, and there's upside on it, significant upside on it. So that's why I would have Ant-Man higher than Giannis. Ultimately, I don't agree with this ADP for Anthony Edwards. And I've got him. I don't even agree with the number 6. I would have a different number, and it would be a lower number. All right, Doc, number 7 in our round 1 evaluation of ADP is Cade Cunningham at number 7. Do you agree with this ADP?
See, when we're doing like picks, when we're down in like the 50s and 60s, it's gonna be like, do you agree with this? I'm gonna be like, yeah, because I don't have my list like chiseled in stone like I do with my top 30. So it's gonna be different. Cade Cunningham at 7 makes perfect sense to me. I'm a little sad that he's that high because I'm really high on him. I'd rather see him at 10 because that means my chances of getting him are better. But I love Cade, man. And took me a couple years to come around to Cade, but I am here. And I mean that's 7's where he belongs. Even though I got him a little bit higher.
Let me get back here. One of the surprises of the offseason, Doc, is the widespread, virtually unanimous love for Cade Cunningham. I think it's valid. I'm not mad at it at all. It's just surprising. And it's impressive. The fantasy masses are onto him, not at 15 or 18, which, obviously based on all the realities is too low. But I mean, damn, dude, he went bam all the way up to the mid-first round. It's cool. It's just kind of surprising to me. I figured he'd be kind of on that turnaround, first round to second round kind of thing. But no, y'all are drafting the what out of Cade Cunningham, man. Do I agree with this ADP? Let me go to my rankings here real quick. And I will tell you, let me go to my rankings here. I do not. I'm not going to give you my rankings, but I'll just say I do not. I have a player above Cade Cunningham that a lot of you don't. And I may be nuts for this, but I may not be nuts for this. I have Trae Young over Cade Cunningham. As I'm looking at that right now, I'm like, do I really like that?
Here comes a live rankings change. Brought to you.
No, I mean, I gotta trust the thinking that went into that, because I don't like half-ass my rankings. Like I really dial it in. So it's vetted and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to stick with that.
Every time you do a live rankings update, you need to say brought to you by FanDuel.
Brought to you by FanDuel. Although I did not do a live ranking update right there. But we love FanDuel, and they sponsor our great podcast here. I do not agree with Cade Cunningham at 7, but I do love Cade Cunningham this year. I don't see a dip in numbers or anything. I don't necessarily see him spiking a whole lot. I think we're going to get a lot what he did last year. So he's at number 7, and we both kind of disagree with that ADP. Doc would have him higher. Anthony Davis, Doc, is at number 8. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Now, Anthony Davis started the season off at number 5 for me. And he has an arrow pointing down, which means I need to move him down. But all my stuff is on paper. So to move him down, I need to redo the whole thing. And I haven't done it yet. I'm not sure how far I'm dropping him. Isn't he the guy that has been free falling for you for a few weeks?
Oh yeah. Anthony Davis
we've had several FanDuel live ranking drops for Anthony Davis, I feel.
Dude, he's taking more L's than the Chicago Bears right now. They only gave up 50 points to Detroit yesterday, which, by the way, I was so mad at myself, Doc. That was the lock of the century. After Detroit got mauled by Green Bay, they're back for the home opener. Chicago sucks as always. That was the lock of Goff had 5 touchdowns yesterday. That was the lock of the century, dude.
I had a little Falcons money line last night. That was fun. So no, Anthony, I disagree with Anthony Davis at 8. I hope people take him at 8. They don't call him street clothes for no reason.
I love that. This isn't even close. You guys need to contextualize out there. Why is Anthony Davis going to have a fat year? Why? I don't know. He's Anthony Davis. Dude, Anthony Davis is the captain of the boot in your ass team. He needs a boot in his ass. There's nobody in Dallas going to put a boot in his ass, not even Jason Kidd. And if they try to be like, yo, get your boot out of my ass. I'm Anthony Davis. I could just demand a trade at any time. No, this is way off. He's a mid-second round pick for me, Doc. And this is, kind of mid to late first round. Go ahead and do it. You're going to regret it. Okay. He's not motivated. What's the motivation? They don't have Kyrie Irving. If they had Kyrie Irving, I would have a completely different view on Anthony Davis. I'd be okay with his ADP at 8. I wouldn't have him over Giannis. I wouldn't have him over Edwards. I wouldn't have him over Cade. but I'd be okay with him having a first round grade on him if Kyrie were healthy, because then you got Kyrie and you got Davis and Flagg and Washington and the centers and all the other guys, right? They've got some good bench pieces. Cool. They're in it to win it. Davis is showing up. Man, they're just going through the motions this year. That Dallas team's going to go through the motions, bro. And they may shut it down. They may get to some tanky point. So hell no on Anthony Davis at 8.
I'm also very curious to see what Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg's relationship looks like.
Yeah, is it like a love fest and they're boys?
Or is AD jealous that everybody loves Cooper Flagg? And really the whole league. Is the whole league going to kind of go in on are we going to kind of get a Caitlin Clark getting beat up every game situation with Cooper Flagg?
Dude, he ain't built like that, man. You can try that beat 'em up game with Steph Curry and Caitlin Clark and these super spectacular, skilled, sinewy guards. Cooper Flagg ain't sinewy, bro. He's not rocked up. He doesn't have the man body yet, but no, he's not going to get pushed around like maybe a Holmgren would have, or maybe a Wemby when he first got to the league. Flagg's built a little different. He's got a solid build to him. Karl Anthony Towns at 9, Doc. Do you agree with this ADP on the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel?
It's another one I don't have a problem with, but I'm probably not taking him that high. I'm going to have him ranked a little bit lower than that.
Lower even than that. Okay. Do you have Cat as a first round pick?
No.
Where do I have Cat?
Yeah, I right at the end. Right at the end.
Holy smokes. Hold on a second. Live ranking update, Doc, brought to you by
FanDuel.
I have one right here. I'm looking at my rank. I have Maxey over Cat. No. No. Nope. What was I thinking when I did that in the lab a week or so ago? Hell nah. I got Max is another guy, bro. He keeps taking L's, bro. I gotta keep dropping him down, man. I've got some adjusting to do here, but that was a live ranking change right there, brought to you by FanDuel. Yeah, Maxey over Cat. What was I think? That might have been like they're tanking for sure. I think that was the deal there. But dude, I have Cat late second round. Late second round. I'd rather have Brunson, Fox, Banchero, Barnes, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, all kind of cats, man. So pun not intended.
Which is weird because you love the Knicks.
I do. They're so deep now, dude. They're so deep. Cat can take his foot off the pedal a little bit now. You got Mitchell Robinson. Remember, they barely had Mitchell Robinson at all last year. Cat had to play, right? And
they all did. They played for Thibodeau.
But Tibbs, he's not taking he's not pulling in a boat. The throttle goes down and forward. It's just just full throttle, bro. There's no throttle change with Tom Thibodeau. Okay, even in the no wake zone. He's got a massive wake behind him, dude. And everybody's pissed off at him, right? The buoys are going crazy.
Not only that, but he's got a surfer behind him, and he's got one of those surf wake boats. So the wake's twice as big as it normally would be. It's tearing up the shore of the lake. People are mad about it.
Just shaking their fist in their front yards out. Screw you, buddy.
Dude,
That's exactly what's happening.
I live very close to a huge lake in Georgia, and this wake boat thing, people are woo. You either surf behind a wake boat or everybody else cannot stand you who's on the lake. It's bad. Anyway.
Yeah, lake life, man. Lake life. La. So, do you think I'm crazy that I have Cat late second round? Do you think I'm crazy?
It just tells me that you're not planning on drafting Cat this year.
Bye.
And you're not planning on drafting Anthony Davis this year. and you're not planning on drafting Tyrese Maxey this year, because I'm kind of surprised Maxey, he's got to be close to like this list we're looking at. He's not on the top 12, but I'm kind of surprised he's not. I bet he's 13 or 14.
He'll be high. He will definitely be in our next show when we do picks 13 through 24. Pardon. Damn. All right. So Cat at 9, we've talked about that. Trae Young is at 10, Doc. Do you agree with this ADP?
Seems about right. I've got him a little bit higher, a little bit earlier than that. But I mean, this makes sense. Like, that's where Trae Young should be going. I think you and I have talked ourselves into a Trae Young, at least repeat year, if not a better year than he's had in the past. So I think we're a little higher on him than the masses, which would explain the weird rankings that you and I have. But makes sense, Trae Young at 10.
I mean, I don't agree with it because I have him mid first round.
Right.
I've got it very, 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 very high. Guys, you need those assists, man. You need those assists. When you couple him with some other PGs and maybe a forward that gets some dimes and maybe a Şengün at center with his 5 dimes, I mean, you've locked it up. You're not going to lose that category. And it's all about building categorical domination throughout your draft. I mean, so I just think he is a statistically dominant player, and he's very durable and available. And I love Trae Young, man. I absolutely love him. So that his ADP is wrong and it should go up. Here's another one that I vehemently disagree with. Domantas Sabonis is at 11. What? He's at 11, bro. Do you agree with this ADP?
No, I have him ranked lower than that.
Like, where do you
we don't like Sabonis because he doesn't do any of the Wemby meter stuff. None of the fantasy gold. None of the steals and blocks and threes. He's a great PRA player. He's reliable. You maybe get some triple doubles out of him. But I mean, with your first pick, man, you've got to hit a home run. And when you miss all that fantasy gold with your first pick, it just makes you more desperate for it later. And I just think it kind of messes you up when you get that far down. So
this is another very foolish ADP, I believe. I've got Sabonis late second round. He's down there with Cat and Maxey, the banished group. The banished. They're banished to another fantasy team, not owned by me. So that's where it's at, man. I like Sabonis. I think late first round. I don't even understand. I don't even understand, dude. How could you rank Sabonis over LeBron James or Kevin Durant? How could you do that? How could you? Let me pick some of the, like, where it just doesn't make any sense at all.
You know, I was going to say it's because of his ranking in, the sportsethos.com algorithm under player ranks, but he's not all that high in that either. Like, he's more around 20, which is where I think you and I agree that we should be looking at him. What were you going to say? I totally interrupted you.
No, you didn't. It was fine. He doesn't have the stat combo to validate a late first round pick. He doesn't. Not even close. J-Dub of OKC. You take Sabonis over J-Dub, you're wrong. You're making a critical mistake.
0.9 threes, 0.7 steals, 0.4 blocks.
Oh, it's so gross.
It's pretty gross.
Dude, his Wemby meter is dead. He doesn't even have a Wemby meter.
It's broken.
It's just not existent. He doesn't even have one.
It's been recalled by the manufacturer.
Yes, indeed it has. Sabonis, hustle a little bit, bro. Damn. I mean, shit, get off the floor once in your life. Go block a shot, bro. He just stands there and tries to take charges or just olays. I mean, he's a pretty dreadful defensive player. Probably one of the reasons why Sacramento gives up 120 every night and goes 500. Sacks just got to outscore you, bro. That's all it is for them. They just got to outscore you, man. So let's move on here.
Are we at the end of our list?
We are. And it is James Harden at number 12.
Jimmy Harden.
Well, I'm going to let you say that. Do you agree with this ADP on as you call him, Jimmy Harden?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I am on board with that. I've got him ranked a little bit later than that currently, but I love James Harden. I owe James Harden for a very successful season last year. I'm going to stay with him, even though he doesn't really fit the Dr. A mold. He's old. He doesn't really jump. He's slow, but he still balls. He still scores. He's still going to be one of the league leaders in assists, and he still puts up pretty fun fantasy numbers across the board. So 1.5 steals per game, 3 threes per game, more blocks than freaking Domantas Sabonis, who's twice as big as he is. I'm cool with Jimmy.
I'm gonna say, because I think I've disagreed with every ADP. I'm just gonna say I agree with this one, but I am off by one number on this. But James Harden is a first-round pick. James Harden should be drafted over Steph Curry. And while I'm kind of upset with the fantasy world and how you're ranking Giannis, how you're ranking Davis, how you're ranking Sabonis, but I got to give you all credit because you have James Harden ranked above Steph Curry. Who else is kind of notable? And I'll just leave it right there. I mean, damn, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm struggling so much today, man. But they do have Harden above Durant and James in this ADP, which I'm okay with you going Harden versus LeBron and Durant. I am. I wouldn't do it, but I'm okay with it. So, yeah, I mean, like some of the guys that aren't on this list, Doc, right? You mentioned Maxey, Booker, right? I love Booker this year. LeBron, Durant. So the second round, when we get to that in our next episode, is going to be interesting. But I like that Harden is being ADP'd as a first-round pick right now. I'd have him a little bit higher than this, but I do like that he's in the first round. So I'm going to say I want to give a little stroke on the back of the neck, a little pet to the fantasy world, and say attaboy. You know,
well,
you got Harden in the first round. Attaboy.
You and I have been doing this every day for the whole summer. A lot of these people doing these drafts in these ADP leagues are just jumping in there and getting practice and going. Like they haven't even started their research. So I mean, these are big names in the first round. I'm not really offended or mad at any of them. I get it. Like you just come in cold. Like that's why people should be watching this show. Is what I'm saying.
You're not offended by Sabonis in the first round?
No, I feel like he goes at the end of the first round very often.
19, 12, and 6.
I'm not happy with it, but I'm not offended by it.
I'm offended by it.
That is offensive.
Somebody has attacked viciously my Finnish background, and I'm pissed off about it. I am offended. I'm a European mongrel. Some German, some Scottish, some Finnish. I got a lot of Andre's ancestors in me, Doc. That was weird. Anyway,
Rick, do we have a FanDuel point or over under?
Before we do, I have a question for you. What is the best value pick of round one based on these ADPs? What is the best value pick?
I forgot that we were doing that. You know, it's Luka Doncic.
Bingo. I have the same answer. I have the same answer.
You get the number 2 guy 3 picks late. And if you have the 5th pick in your draft and Luka falls to you, like Rick said earlier, like boom.
Forget about it. Because you're going to pair them. You might get LeBron or Durant to go with Luka. And then as the season goes along, people are going to look at your team and they're going to be, how in the hell do you have Luka and LeBron? How did you do that? Because you're all dummies. Because you let me have Luka at 5 and you didn't draft LeBron late first round where you should have. Y'all are dummies. That's why I've got
Luka
both of these
and
guys.
LeBron would be
or
so
Luka
fun. They're
and
on the
Durant.
same team though. Rick, now because Luka and LeBron both play for the Lakers, would you draft both of them?
Oh yeah,
totally. Me too. But do you get emails and questions from people like, "Oh, I've got these guys on the same team, and it's really bothering me, and I'm like they're stressed and upset about it." Like I never really care about that.
That's a thing in football. To me, that's a thing in football. Think about if you had Chase Brown, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. How are you feeling right now with the Joe Burrow news? That he's out. I skimmed the headline. I wasn't able to fully. He's out like 2 months or something.
3 months. Turf toe surgery, 3 months.
Holy, you know what? Wow, I didn't know. I thought it was like 2 weeks, 2 months or something, like 3 months. Okay, so see what I'm saying? If you stack Bengals, guess what? You're screwed. Because now they're going to have a backup QB, and Higgins and Chase, their valuations are completely changed now. Yeah, Joe Burrow's a top 5 QB, and now they're going to have a backup. So their numbers are going to suffer greatly. And I have a lot of Chase and a lot of Higgins, and this news sucks, frankly. And I have a ton of Chase Brown. Absolute ton of Chase Brown. But I have 15 teams. Okay, they're not all like stacked on the same team. But I'm just saying, like, I don't care about the stack in fantasy basketball. Don't care about it at all. If it's the right pick at the right time, I'm doing it. I would have Braun, Luka, and Reeves and Ayton all on the same team, and I'm not a Laker fan. But I would do that. Luka first round, LeBron second round, Reeves, I don't know, 5th round. I'm just throwing it out there. Ayton, like 8th or 9th round. Yep, I could see myself having all 4 of those guys.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm the same way. Like I'm not afraid to have multiple players on the same team, but I guess the concern that people have about it is just with the schedule, and you want to have a balance in your schedule. On the days the Lakers don't play, but I don't care.
All right, Doc, it is time now for our FanDuel win total for this show. And the FanDuel win total for the San Antonio Spurs is 44.5. Over or under for you?
To hit that, they need to win 45, which is 11 more than they won last season. De'Aaron Fox is locked and loaded for the whole year. Wemby is locked and loaded for the whole year. And I feel like the Spurs are going to try to win this year. Last year, we just couldn't figure it out. Like, are they going to go for it? Are they going to tank? Are they going to hold Wemby back? Like this year, I think it's pedal to the metal. 44.5 puts them last year right there at 8 or 9 with Memphis and Sacramento. That's not asking for too much. I'm going over.
I'm going over as well, but it's not a bet for me. I think they're going to win 48, 49. The numbers, I just read it too. Like I said, I'm on half a brain today, 44.5. There's a little bit of wiggle room here, Doc, but it's only like 2, 3, 4 games, right? Somebody gets hurt, something happens, boom, you're dead. With these win totals, man, I've got to be like, whoa, really? Like, wow. Bam, that, like my estimate versus, the line here is like way off. Okay, that's where value comes in for me. I'd probably have San Antonio at about 48 or 49 wins, Doc, because I think they're going to be just under that main group of the LA teams, Minnesota, Denver, Houston, and I think that's it. It's like that cluster of 5 teams. The LA teams, Minnesota, Denver, and Houston. And they're going to be, obviously, OKC's 1. 2 through 6 are going to be those teams. San Antonio, to me, is going to be the best play-in tournament team at number 7. And so I got them at 40. I'll just call it 47 wins. I think they're going to be like right at 47 wins, which is a really, really, really healthy improvement off of last year. Probably going to win Mitch Johnson Coach of the Year if they can pull that off. You're 7, probably going to make the playoffs. So it's an over, but it's not bettable for me. It's because it's too close. All right, Doc, we done. You got anything else for the people before we say bye-bye?
No, but I'm so ready for when we do that first draft of the season, man, because we talk so much about this. Like, I can't wait till I just like take my list and throw it in the air and just start going rogue. You know it's gonna happen.
I love it, man. I love it. We're analysts, and we're mad scientists, but we have different methodologies, man. We do, and sometimes we keep it kind of simple, like because there's a lot of gut. There's also a lot of research and brain. But when you get in a draft in that moment of truth, man, and it's like Cat or Maxi, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, and last year I panicked. I had no Paul George on any of my lists as a guy to get, and he was sitting there late. And I knew better when I did it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to take Paul George. I pushed the button. And I've said this before. I knew immediately. I just got sick to my stomach. I'm like, I lost this league. It's done.
And you
not
did
gonna
lose
happen
that
this year. I'm not doing that this year.
And
I'm not taking guys that I have bad feelings about. What?
How did you do in that league?
Oh, not good. Not well. Take Paul George with your second pick. That's what happens.
It's fantasy suicide. Don't do it. Guys, don't forget during the offseason, we are going to be answering listener questions on the show. Just head over to Sports Ethos YouTube channel. Find our most recent video. Drop your question in the comments. We will be pulling from those for upcoming episodes. And follow us on Twitter or X and all social media. Support the show by leaving a comment and telling us which players you were targeting in drafts. You can find us at Ethos Fantasy NBA, at Rick Kamla Sports, at Doctora, DOCKTORA, and at Aaron Bruschi, Aaron with 2 A's, and then BRUSKI. And we will be back with Brew very, very, very soon. For the great Andre Lemouche, for Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, I am Rick Kamla. Thank you so much for watching the Fantasy NBA Today, brought to you by FanDuel.